Viewers, the images force an uncomfortable national reckoning. Diplomats in the Indian High Commission are living under siege, fearing the next outburst of Islamist rage. This even as outside Bangladeshi Hindus are far game and fair game. A new video has emerged that shows Dipu Das begging for his life. Look at those pictures. He is pleading with Bangladeshi police to shield him. But they cold-bloodedly hand him over to the Islamist mob to be lynched on a false pretext. This, my friends, is state-sanctioned lynching. You can see him saying, please save me, save me. I'm innocent, I haven't done anything. Something, of course, that the Bangladesh authorities have now confirmed, that he didn't actually do anything. He never wrote anything that was insulting of the Prophet or of the faith. And he was lynched on a false pretext. But viewers, a state police that is supposed to protect you from the mob hands you like a trophy to the mob. In the country's capital, Dhaka, Islamists, including Pakistani Taliban, are on the streets. Yes, viewers, Pakistani Taliban, agents of the ISI, are marching with their own flag, the flag of Pakistan, alongside Bangladeshi Islamists in the heart of Dhaka, calling for the breakup of India, for the liberation of Kashmir. In Bangladesh, viewers, Islamist fury has been allowed a chilling free run. A free run that has brought out Hindi groups onto the streets here in India. You can see them. There they are, viewers, today. But the operative phrase here is Hindu groups. Yes, Hindu groups belonging mostly to the saffron folk. Indeed, viewers, when a Muslim is killed anywhere in the world, a familiar pattern follows. Hashtags trend within minutes, candle marches appear overnight, statements pour in from activists and academics, and politicians who claim moral authority over the idea of human rights. But when a Hindu is lynched, next door, or even in this country, when Islamist violence threatens India's own territorial integrity, that same ecosystem is suddenly missing in action. No outrage, no marches, only silence or worse, rationalization. Indeed, viewers, the Congress party's member of parliament has rationalized the lynching. What has he come out and said? He says attacks on Hindus in Bangladesh are a reaction to atrocities against Muslims in India. Situation in India and Bangladesh is the same. Viewers, if you ever wanted to give Muhammad Yunus a clean chit, here it is from Digvijay Singh, Member of Parliament, sworn, viewers, to serve our constitution, not the Republic of Bangladesh. And another senior Congress leader, Rashid Alvi, he also rationalizes. He says there is a fundamentalist government in Bangladesh and in India. In Bangladesh, Hindus are being attacked, and in India, mosques are being attacked. Muslims are being bulldozed. So everything presumably is okay, viewers. Even in 2019, India didn't stand as one. Dipu Das might not have been lynched had he had the option to seek citizenship in India. But the Citizenship Amendment Act, or the CAA, could have been his ticket to life, but the law was opposed by the very same ecosystem that lectures the country regularly on human rights. This entire ecosystem is missing in action, even though it was out on the streets bemoaning the death of Hamas and Hezbollah radicals. Look at those pictures, viewers. So Hezbollah radicals and terrorists you can come out for, but not against Islamists who are threatening the very idea of India. In Kolkata today, the police that stood by when Muslim mobs protested the Waqf bill today use their Laathis to punish visibly anxious and peacefully protesting Hindu groups. Look at the way they were left, viewers. Beaten, bruised. Why? Because they were standing up for their own country. This is not about religion. This is about consistency. You cannot claim to stand for humanity only when it suits your politics. If outrage depends on the victim's identity, then it is not outrage at all. It is moral hypocrisy. If we claim to speak for humanity, then shouldn't we be speaking for all humanity? Because when a man begs for his life, or a people face an existential threat from a bigoted outlook, like they are today, viewers, in Bangladesh, and the world looks away, silence is complicity. And therefore, tonight we're going to ask some questions. And I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to first start with Syed Fazal Kashani, political analyst. Mr. Kashani, thank you very much for joining us here. I wish you were out on the streets joining the rest of the country in protesting what is going on in Bangladesh. But people in the Congress party, the wider ecosystem, are creating a narrative that, well, you know, it's okay because the same kind of minority bashing happens here, so this is a reaction in Bangladesh. The same thing that was said by Kashmiri politicians, by a whole stripe of Congress politicians, by this so-called left liberal ecosystem, when recently the Red Fort attack happened, viewers. They said, well, radicalization, well, how do you stop it when Muslims are feeling persecuted? I want to ask you, sir, humanity is under attack. Are you going to still look for the religion of the victim to exercise your outrage? I cannot understand. Where is this moderate Muslim, this ummah of moderates? You see, yesterday, viewers, I attacked the government for doing little. Today, I have to ask questions of our own people. If we are not united, Mr. Kashani, in the face of what is an existential threat, perilously staring at us, when will we ever be? Are you going to still look for religion?
Well, Rahul, first of all, let's not give this a religious angle. If I talk about my religion, it clearly says that any innocent killed anywhere in the world is a murder of humanity. So whatever is happening in Bengal, Bangladesh, we all condemn it, and it shouldn't happen. But at the same time, I want to ask this to the government or the representatives of the central government, that what has the government done for the Hindus of Bangladesh? What policies are they adopting? Talking about people in India not uniting against Bangladesh, let me make it very clear that everybody who is a true Indian is against whatever is happening in Bangladesh. It shouldn't happen. And be that in any country, extremism is not a solution. Extremism of any religion is not a solution. We have seen incidents here. We condemn incidents happening in India. Similarly, we can condemn incidents happening in Bangladesh as well. Let's not give it a religious angle.
So, do you support the CAA?
No, I don't.
Viewers, why was the CAA brought in? The CAA was brought in so that Hindus, and who brought it in? The NDA in 2019. Why? Because the Hindus, viewers, the Sikhs, the Christians in 3 Islamic countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh, were being threatened to the point of extinction. In Bangladesh, viewers, the population has come down from 12% to 2%. And I'm not going to sit here and say to you that it is worse now than it was ever before. It's been bad for Hindus consistently. Hindus have had to leave Bangladesh over the decades. And the idea was for them to come here and get citizenship, become stakeholders in a land which is basically, viewers, the cradle of the Hindu civilization. And these people opposed the law. They opposed it.
Oh, we don't want a news anchor to
they opposed the law. They opposed the law.
No.
Listen, I'm not talking to you. And don't bring me this BJP nonsense here, okay? Because I'm the only one who's going to be talking about akhlaq. Even you won't.
We don't
so keep your mouth shut.
We don't need certificates.
Now, Mr. Kashani, I want to ask you, how many people today in Kashmir, how many Muslim moderates from the PDP, from the NC came out today and protested? Or yesterday or day before for Mr. Das? for the Indian, for the Indian embassy that was attacked or high commission that was attacked. How many of you came out? Give me the numbers.
Okay. First of all, I am not the spokesperson of
Give me
NC
the
or
numbers.
PDP.
Give me the numbers. You have two eyes? Do you have two eyes? Yes or no?
How many
Do you have two eyes? Yes or no?
Let me answer.
I'm asking you, sir, instead of doing whataboutery night after night, I'm asking you a specific question. You told me that you do not support extremism. So tell me, sir, how have you shown that you do not support extremism? I'm talking about you personally. Tell me. How have you shown that you do not... No, 1 second. I want to ask you, sir, please. I want to ask you this specific question. And don't take me into some other little roundabout. Answer the question that I'm asking you. Don't go back on whataboutery. If the other side is bad, doesn't mean that you have to be bad. You can take the moral high ground. Is it not right? So I'm asking you, sir, did you today come out and protest? Did you come out yesterday? Did you come out with 5 neighbors? Have you even put out an ex post? Show me.
Listen, Rahul, whether I come out or not, I don't have to show it to you. I don't need a certification from you.
Did you come out? I'm asking you.
On the contrary, I want to ask you, how many times have you asked this to BJP that we project Mr. Modi as the world leader? How many nations has reached about the Hindus, whatever is happening with Hindus in Bangladesh? How many world leaders has he reached? We have seen Narendra Modi traveling from one country to another. How many countries has he gained?
Mr. Kashani? What are you talking about? The CA was brought by whom? Why was the CA brought?
No,
what?
Let me answer. The CA,
you chaps have made a business. You chaps have made a business about being silent selectively. You have made it a business. You are profiting from it. You are profiting from death.
Only if that convinces you, Mr. Rahul, but that is not the fact.
I don't need to. I'm asking you, sir. You say you are against extremism. Should people have taken out a janaza for the chief of Hezbollah in Kashmir and I'll show you those visuals, and the chief of the Hamas? Yes or no?
If it has happened, it's wrong.
If it's happened, it's wrong. Viewers, did these people speak up? If it has happened, he says, it happened. Those are the pictures. There you can see those fellows who are being paraded with their pictures. Who are these? These are mass murderers. Aren't they mass murderers, sir? Mr. Kashani?
What are they carrying in their hands? It's pictures of Khomeini.
Isn't he a mass murderer?
And India,
did he not back Hezbollah? Does he not back Hezbollah? I'm asking you. Does he not back Hezbollah? I'm asking you. Does he not back? No, hang on. Look at those photos in the middle. That is Yahya Sinwar's photo. That is Yahya Sinwar's photo. No, one second. I'm asking you, Mr. Kashani. Again, whataboutery viewers. Whataboutery, more whataboutery, and most whataboutery. They will never give you a simple, straightforward answer. And I'm not making this about religion. Digvijay Singh is not a Muslim. Digvijay Singh is a Hindu. And what is he doing? Giving clean chits to Dhaka. What is going on in this country?
That is something Congress has to look after.
I'm not demanding an answer from you, sir, on the Congress party. You don't have to speak for them. You speak for yourself. Let me open this up. Let me open this up. Look, I have an axe to grind. No doubt. I feel that the Indian government has been active enough. But that's a separate issue. I discussed that yesterday threadbare, viewers. But today, when the time came to show a united face, we couldn't stand up together. If you can't stand up together, viewers, the people, why would anyone stand up for you? Why would America, why would the UK, why would any European country stand up for you? I want to ask you tonight, Sushant Sareen, before I bring in Sanju Verma, I want to ask you, what really is going on? Why is it that we are not standing up together when you see, and I'm not even talking about Dipu Das or the Hindus there, I'm talking about the Indian embassy, the Indian state that is today under attack in Bangladesh.
So Rahul, before I come to your question, just one sentence on something Mr. Kashani has said. I think it would be good if people like Mr. Kashani were to take certificates from other communities on their attitudes. This business that we don't need your certificate is a cop out. You need certificates and you should look for certificates so that, your bona fides are well established. And there's nothing wrong in looking for certificates from your compatriots. That is the first part. On your other question, Rahul, look, the kind of logic that has been given by people like Digvijay Singh, he's a serial offender anyways. But let me extend that logic and ask him if the flip side of that logic also holds. So, for example, when young Hindu girls are raped in Pakistan or in Bangladesh, and atrocities against Hindus are carried out in Pakistan and Bangladesh and other parts of the world, should the Hindus in India do something similar to Muslims in India? Because that seems to be the logic of Mr. Digvijay Singh, that for every action there is going to be an opposite reaction, and what is happening in India is leading to the kind of pogroms that are being carried out in Bangladesh. Now, the pogroms in Bangladesh have been carried out when even his party's government was in power in India. Okay, and all the accusations which are currently being heard were not being heard even at that point of time. And in fact, the maximum exodus from Bangladesh has taken place into India during the so-called Congress regimes. Okay, so the logic which people like Digvijay Singh and others of his ilk forward does not hold. Secondly, and this is very troubling, there is a certain self-loathing among a section of the Hindu community in India who actually think Hindus, and with them some of the liberal element, which are quick to jump, on issues of communalism when it involves other communities, but keep their mouth shut when it involves the Hindu community. So it's partly the outcome of a certain self-loathing which has been fed into the mind space of many Hindus in this country. So apart from that self-loathing, there is the factor that these are people who actually, there is the whole political angle to the whole thing. That for example, in a state like West Bengal, that what the electoral mathematics is, that if you have the 35% Muslim vote, you need only a 10% Hindu vote, and that is it. The rest of the Hindu vote is in any case divided.
Yes.
You don't even need it. So you only need the Muslim vote to win your election. That is another very major problem which is coming up. And then finally, there is the duplicity of the so-called liberal element, because they seem to think that genocide of Hindus or pogroms against Hindus is par for the course. It's okay. Hindus are untermensch, lesser beings. They deserve to be treated treated the way they are being treated by these characters. But in case something else was to happen to other communities, they must raise their voice and do the virtue signaling, because that is what gets them the visas to Europe, to America, to other parts of the world. That is what gets them funding from international NGOs, from USAID and all these organizations. So that is a business model for them also. And
Okay.
that is the only reality why this kind of a thing persists. There is no consistency in approach on, and I would say, look, if there is an akhlaq which happens, then by all means go after the guys who perpetuated it or who carried out that act. And I completely oppose withdrawal of the cases against the people who have been accused. You should try them, punish them.
Absolutely.
They
Well, we'll
get off
come
with
to
it
that. We'll come to
because
that in
the
a
court
little
system
while.
is broken. That's another matter.
That we'll come
But
to
you
in a
should
little
try
while.
them. You should not withdraw cases against people involved in these crimes.
Yeah.
I have no compunctions in saying it, and I think any government which withdraws those cases is not living up to its commitment to rule of law.
No, fair enough. That will
Would
come
you
to.
guys say the same thing?
Yes, that's a big story, but I'm glad that you flipped this. See, I'm glad that you flipped it, and I want to bring in now Abhijit Iyer Mitra and the BJP national spokesperson. Mr. Mitra, look, I see it this way, that if all of India doesn't come out onto the streets, we lose an opportunity to also send a message out to our own government that there is genuine consternation at the failure of the government itself to have control over the narrative or the elements in Dhaka. Do you feel that somewhere we have not been on top of the game in Dhaka, in Bangladesh?
We've been as on top of the game as we can possibly be.
Okay.
Remember in 1971, even after 3 million Bangladeshis were killed, mostly Hindus, even then we did not declare war till Pakistan bombed our western air bases. I think it was on the 9th of December or 7th of December, I forget what, 1970. Right. So till then we did not declare war. Now the question is, what can you do if a law and order situation like this goes so badly wrong in Bangladesh? You deal with it beyond the cameras quietly, which I think we've done. There is a reason that Mohammed Yunus has come out and put out the tweet. Because remember, none of these foreign clowns who keep coming and lecturing us on how to behave on Ukraine ever opened their mouth about Dipu Das. EU in Bangladesh, Amnesty International, they took Osman Hadi's name. They refused to take Dipu Das's name. We noticed that, a laborer has been killed. That was all they said, with grave concern. They didn't even call for a proper investigation. So clearly, Indian pressure that has been put behind the scenes has had its effect, and that is all we can do. Now, on this program, several times, Rahul, you will remember I have told you that Mohammed Yunus is his own worst enemy. He's going to screw things up for himself, which he's doing remarkably well. Never interrupt your enemy while he's making mistakes. He's going on making mistakes. He's got a timeout period on the 26th of February. He's got to go. The army has shoved the election down his throat, whether he likes it or not. I suspect what we're going to see is a lot more coming, but initially the pressure seems to have worked. Have we deterred some of the pressure? Yes. Now, why is there more violence coming? Because the Jamaat and him, understand, Islamists and leftists have always had an alliance. They had it in Iran, they had it in the USSR. In the USSR, the communists came to power and killed off all the Islamists. In Iran, the Islamists came to power and they killed off all the communists. So they always, this is like gays for Gaza. Even though gays will be the first person to be thrown off the roof in Gaza, this is what happens. It's like chickens for KFC kind of situation out here. These people have come together, these NGO clowns like you and the Islamists. They are now in a race. The point is they want to deteriorate the situation so that the elections can be postponed. That is their game. Let us keep our eye on the ball. Ultimately, we are Indians. We have to keep our eye on the larger interests of India. And that is what we need to do. We cannot afford to get
we is the viewers. We is the operative word, not some. We, as the citizens of this country. So we can't have a situation where people are being selective, Sanju Verma. We can't have a situation where some people decide that no, it's worth for us to come out onto the streets, and others say no. You see, because Hindus are on the rampant here in this country and are somehow in some fictitious universe attacking Muslims, it's okay if they get it in Bangladesh. That can't happen.
Rahul, I'm so
Nothing
glad
is
that
fictitious.
Mitra,
Oh, really?
can I please come in? I don't know. There was somebody who was interjecting.
Please, go ahead.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Kashani, who decided
Yeah,
to interject.
Mr. Kashani, you had your say and I didn't interject. Show some courtesy. Thank you. I'm glad that Abhijit Iyer Mitra, without any ifs or buts whatsoever, categorically said that the Indian government is on top of the situation as much as it can, as much as it should, given the scenario in Bangladesh, which is still evolving. But I want to say this to you very responsibly, that 19,000 Indians who were in Bangladesh have been brought back safely to Indian shores, including young students. Should we do more? Of course. I'm never going to say that this is enough. Enough is never enough, especially when you're dealing with somebody like a Mohammed Yunus, supposedly an intelligent guy, a Nobel laureate, what have you. But deep down, as they say, you scratch the surface and the jihadi bit stares at you. And I'm not going to hold back my words. I just want to say this to the likes of a Digvijay Singh and a Rashid Kidwai, who said, जो यहाँ हो रहा है मुसलमानों के साथ, वही तो हिंदुओं के साथ बांग्लादेश में हो रहा है. यहाँ भी कट्टरपंथी सरकार है, वहां भी कट्टरपंथी सरकार है, implying that there's a hardline government here, there's a hardline government there. And then he says, अल्पसंख्यकों के साथ, मुसलमानों के साथ जो भारत में हो रहा है, आप देखिए हिंदुओं के साथ वही बांग्लादेश में हो रहा है. I want to tell the likes of a Rashid Kidwai, the likes of a Digvijay Singh and the entire Darbari ecosystem. Point number one, do you remember in May 2024, the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council came out with a report, Rahul, which said that between 1950, 1950 and 2015, the Hindu population in India is down by 7.82%. But the Muslim population has risen by a solid 43.15%. मुसलमानों को यहाँ पर प्रताड़ित किया जाता है, but they've seen a rise in their population. Can you say that the same about Bangladeshi Hindus, which are reduced to a minuscule? Can you say that about Christians and Sikhs, who have been reduced to a minuscule in Bangladesh? My simple point is this: the government will do what it needs to do. I'm not going to get into rhetoric that diplomacy is the art of negotiation, persuasion, iron fist in a velvet glove, what have you. Maybe sometimes you need to be reminded of what Machiavelli said. At times, the ends justify the means. Like I said, the government will do what needs to be done. But my problem is with those who give intellectual cover fire to radical Islamists. And मैं राशिद किडवाई जैसे लोगों को बोल दूं that in fact some of the worst riots in post-independent India, where Muslims were slaughtered, happened under the incompetent nose of the Congress party. Just 10 seconds, Rahul. The Hashimpura riots of 1987 under Rajiv Gandhi, the Bhagalpur riots of 1989 under Rajiv Gandhi, and in 10 seconds, 2006 Aligarh riots, 2008 Dhule riots, 2010 Beganga riots in Bashirhat in Bengal, 2011 Bharatpur riots in Rajasthan, 2012 Kokrajhar riots in Assam, and 2013 Muzaffarnagar riots in Uttar Pradesh. In all these riots, it was actually the Muslims who were at the receiving end, and all these riots happened under the Congress party. So the second point I am making is, do not lecture the BJP. Muslims are safer under Narendra Modi than they have ever been under a Rajiv Gandhi, a Pandit Nehru, or an Indira Gandhi.
Just small correction, Ms. Verma. It's not Rashid Kidwai, it's Rashid Alvi. So I just want to, so I just want to quickly,
apologies.
That's okay. That's I just wanted to make that clear. Okay. So look, Mr. Sushant Sareen, I want to ask you before I move on, how robust has the Indian response been, in your opinion?
Rahul, first, I think it's good that you clarified that it's not Rashid Kidwai. I don't think Rashid Kidwai, a journalist, would ever indulge in this kind of rhetoric. But I'm sure Sanju made a slip of the tongue. But it's good that we've clarified, otherwise Rashid would have been tossing and turning with his name being taken. But yeah, look, I think partly the problem has been, I would probably go along with Abhijit up to a point. But I think it's a strategic failure in the sense that, when we develop good relations with countries, we do not account for the possibility that relations can one day turn south. The kind of leverages, the kind of, levers of control that we must build up in other countries, whereby they are going to be thinking about 10 times before they're going to take any kind of hostile action against us. Or in the event that something like this was to happen, you can actually do plenty of things in those countries. We do not have that in our statecraft. Look at the Americans, for example. Even when they are the best of friends with some country, they will have their sleeper cells in that country. They will develop their, areas of influence in those countries. Look at the Indians, who keep talking about America even today, and how they suck up to the American deep state out here and do their dirty work. They've developed those assets. Where are Indian assets? There are a lot of things that we should have done, which of course we cannot speak in public about, which we have not done. And that is what I fault. And this is not just about Bangladesh. I would say this is about virtually every country that we are dealing with, or every neighboring state. We tend to have this attitude where we start thinking, okay, now that the relationship has improved, it'll stay good. It doesn't. And in international relations, you always have to keep a plan B and a plan C.
Yeah, like build diplomatic redundancies.
You don't really have a plan B or a plan C.
Okay, well,
yes, you can put some pressure, some moral persuasion with the others. But I don't think it's going to be effective, because what is going to be effective in Bangladesh against Islamist, crazed Islamist mobs is not the kind of diplomacy that we are talking about.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
not going to help.
I think one needs to resort to other means sometimes.
Rahul?
Yeah, very quickly, Sanju Verma, I feel that, you know, we haven't got our ace game to the table. Let's just put it that way, very quickly. Yeah.
You know, Rahul, very humbly, I agree to disagree with you. I just want to say that the Modi government did one very important thing on the 3rd of September 2025. And what was that? We said that the threshold now for CAA, for persecuted Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, Christians from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, will not be limited to 31st December 2014. We raised the threshold to 31st December 2024. And I think that is a giant step in ensuring that, you know, violence against Hindus does not continue unabated.
Once again, viewers, some people who say that is reactive. We need to be proactive and preemptive. I leave it at this, viewers, because I want to come back in the last 10 seconds to re-emphasize a point. When a man begs for his life, or a people face an existential threat from a bigoted outlook and the world looks away, including many Indians here in our country, then, viewers, that silence is complicity. It is morally unconscionable. All Indians need to stand up for Indians and for India. And they must also be seen to be standing up at a time like this. If you can stand up for every other cause anywhere else around the world, you must also have the equanimity to stand up for your own country. Only then, viewers, will your adversaries and will those that are trying to undermine you take you seriously, because they will realize that this country has resolved across the board to speak in one voice and also channel its energy to act in one way. Viewers, I want to move on.